106 Live Radio. Atlanta's music leader. This is The Morning Rise. Now broadcasting weekdays from 6 to 10 on 106 R&B and Throwbacks.
Good morning and welcome to The Morning Rise with the Variable Y on 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. Sorry, just wanted to get everything together. Didn't want you guys to see me on the phone having conversation. But it looks like I was wrong. And see, that's why you don't talk bad about people, because they actually do come through for you when they are supposed to. So let's say good morning to our guest, Miss Janine. Hey, Miss Janine.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am great. How are you?
I can't complain.
Good. So, well, first, thank you so much for joining the show. And we were talking impulse control. I think we both know why, a little bit earlier in the show. And, we want to just go into that a little bit more, to try to understand what happens in those moments, and kind of get your thoughts on that. Have you talked to a lot of people who may have some problems, some issues with controlling their impulses? Are they not aware of, and that's probably the case, that they're just not aware of what could happen in the next few minutes, few moments, or how this could turn into something bigger. What are your thoughts on impulse control and exactly how we should go about controlling our urges and impulses?
Well, I think that it happens to all of us. Excuse me. I think we've all had moments where we've been driven by our emotion. And when you're talking impulse control, that's often what's happening. One of the things that I've said a million times is emotion always trumps logic. And so when we are highly emotional, we typically don't have access to the more logical parts of our brain. And so when we react out of emotion, that's what it looks like. It looks like a lack of impulse control, because what we haven't done is stopped and thought through, is this a good idea? What are the consequences? What could happen? We're simply being led. We are moving simply in what we're feeling. And so, unfortunately, that can lead us to make some not so great choices.
Yes, absolutely. So, so what part of that? So that is a technical thing. So that's not necessarily a like lack of something that we're lacking, like something that we can try to. Is that something that we can be taught, or is that something that is deep within us, and if we don't try to suppress it, then eventually it's going to come out anyway?
Well, no, if there are skills that you can learn in order to manage it better, not only that, but when you do your work and you've healed from some of your historical stuff, your emotions aren't triggered as quickly or as intensely. Those rapid upticks in feeling is typically because one of our deeper rooted issues, excuse me, has been triggered. And so what we have to do is do as much of our work as possible to heal so we're not triggered as much, we're not triggered as intensely, and therefore we can act more logically.
Gotcha. Okay. To do the work. I should have known that was coming. I should have known. I should have known
the answer.
that was coming. That is always your answer, is to do the work. So no, but yeah. So and we didn't excuse me, we didn't even have you last week. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Let's get your take on it. Again, let's try to get as little bit as little of the actual thing that happened as possible, because we're trying to transition out of that. But again, we didn't have you on. We didn't get your take. What is your take on it? You know, from you, and you can go any aspect that you want. You can go from personal aspect, from a business aspect, from a just emotional aspect. However you would like to. What is your take on it? On that situation that brought us to this topic today?
Well, I'll say that, let me preface it by saying I do not know these people personally. I don't know their histories. I don't know their backgrounds. And so this is simply my assumption based on what I've seen. There is no factual basis for this. This is pure conjecture. But my view on it actually is highly influenced by some of the things that I read in Will Smith's book. And one of the stories that he tells at the very beginning of the book is the story of when he saw his father like beat his mother, and that he didn't jump in, he didn't protect her, and that was a moment that imprinted very, very deeply on him, and one of to the day that he was writing the book, still one of his biggest regrets. And it was a moment of not protecting the woman in my life, right? And so because that was such an impactful moment, I think that probably could be what drove some of his response. Was I've not protected my woman in the past. It made me feel like a coward. I hate the way that feels. I'm not making that mistake again. There's no woman that'll be in my life that I will allow to be abused without standing up for them. And I think that's a lot of what drove his response to Chris Rock. That's my assumption.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Like as somebody who has not read the book yet, I probably will now, but I haven't read it yet. But as somebody who has
actually really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like the way you're making it seem. But as somebody who has not read it, that is a great perspective to give us. You know, that is something that definitely I would not have thought about when it comes to this. I wouldn't have thought about it when it comes to Will Smith. You know, again, he seems like a type of guy who had it all together. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I thought there were points where he seemed to, have a relationship with his father. So to see somebody like that and to see them go through that, not knowing what they've been through before, it does put it into perspective. It doesn't necessarily make it okay, but it does, it does put it into perspective. So now, done with that. We're not going to again rehash that. We're not going to do everything that everybody else has done and just totally litigate this in the court of public opinion, because it's been done to death. So we're not going to do that, but we are going to just talk about some ways now to try to get some of those controls back. Let's talk about some ways to try and understand that we have these impulses, to understand that we have to try our best to fight some of these urges, fight these urges to walk up to somebody and slap them, fight these urges to go back and forth with the person at wherever your restaurant of choice is, fight these urges to go back and forth with your boss, to go back and forth with your spouse. Let's talk about ways to try and fight these urges to make sure that we're not out here doing things that will, in the long run, really come back to bite us in the backside.
Definitely. Definitely. It's interesting. I know most of the time when we talk, my answer is it depends. This is one of the few cases that there is one very universal tool that helps in almost every situation. And it is simply a pause. Take a beat before you respond, before you react, so that you can respond, not react. And one of the things that I talk about often with couples is the idea that as soon as you feel that strong emotional response, you need to take a beat. Take a second, separate, process your feelings, and then come back and have a conversation with your partner. Because if you don't, you'll be speaking again out of emotion, not out of logic. And so in 90% of these situations, if when you feel the feelings, when you feel that anger, that rage, if you take a second, do nothing, give yourself a minute to calm down, to recenter, and then figure out how you want to proceed, it can save you most of those mistakes.
Yeah, I like that. Take a second, right? Take a beat, take a breath,
Yes.
take a breath, and then come back and see if see how you really feel about it. Yeah, I think that's really good advice. And I'm glad it wasn't it depends. I'm glad you actually gave us something there. Now let's do this. Let's just take a quick song. Let's take a beat. Let's take a break and play a quick song, and then we will come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about impulse control, a little bit more about that's one technique that you have, to see if you have any other techniques that you would like to share with us, to see if you have any any other opportunities for us to come out and showcase that we can do it, or if there's anything else that we should know about this topic before we switch gears a little bit. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. So we will be right back after this music break right here on The Morning Rise with the Variable Y and Mr. Dean on 106liveradio.com.
Now even though you need a golden calculator to divide the time it took to look inside and realize that real guys go for real, down to Mars, girls. Yeah, I know you'd like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, the roses really smell like boo boo boo. I know you like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Caroline, she's the reason for the word witch. I hope she's speeding on her way to the club, trying to hurry up and get to a baller or a singer, somebody like that, and try to put on her makeup in the mirror and crash into a ditch. Just playing. She needs a golden calculator to divide the time it takes to look inside and realize that real guys go for real, down to Mars, girl. Yeah, I know you'd like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, I know you'd like to thank you. Don't stay, but smell like boom, boom, boom. Yeah, roses really smell like boom, boom, boom.
Well, she got a hottest body, but her attitude is potty. When I met her at a party, she was hardly acting naughty. I said, Shawty, would you call me? She said, pardon me, are you balling? I said, darling, you sound like a palsy. Oh, so you're one of them tricks. Get geeked at the sight of an ATM receipt, but game been peaked. Dropping name G's weak, tricking off. This lost, mistake me for a geek. Quick way to eat, deep place to sleep. Rent a car for a week, treat for a treat. No, go on the raw sex. My age test is flawless. Regardless, we don't want to get involved with all them lawyers and judges, just to hold grudges in the courtroom. I want to see you support, bro, not support you.
I know you'd like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, I know you'd like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo boo boo. I know you like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. Roses really smell like boo boo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo boo. I know you like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like boo boo boo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo boo boo.
This is the Morning Rise. Now broadcasting weekdays from 6 to 10 on 106 R&B and Throwbacks.
Yes, sir. With a variable Y right here on 106liveradio.com. We're Excitement Meets Diversity 24/7. Want to send some shout outs for our people giving us the good mornings this morning. Want to let them know that we see them and we thank them so much for being a part of the show. So first we got Miss Renee with the good morning. Good morning, Miss Renee. Thank you so much for joining us today. And then we've got my man, the man, Romy Rome, checking in. Good morning, Romy Rome. Thank you so much for joining us today. And then we've got John checking in as well. So you guys who are listening, who are in the chat, just a little housekeeping note for you guys. Today, we're only going live from 8 to 9. Well, maybe even a little bit before 9. We're only going live from 8 to 9, and then we'll do the rest back on the radio side on the app. We've got some, again, housekeeping things that need to be done. So we're only going to do that, this portion here live. And also for everybody who wants to know, Miss Janine is only going to be with us until a little bit before 9 as well. She's got some people who need her services. So she's got to go tend to them. So she's going to do that. And you will just appreciate her as long as we've got her this morning. So, Miss Janine, we are talking about impulse control, and you see all of these clients, and you do see some people, and you see some people who have, I would assume, I could be wrong, who may have issues with impulse control in their own lives. Are you seeing a lot of this happen with our younger people? Are you seeing this happen a lot with everybody? Does everybody have a problem? Or I guess not everybody, but people in every age range, do they all have problems with impulse control? Or is this something that happens a lot more in younger people, which again is kind of ironic because it's not a young person we're talking about who had the outburst. But what is your perspective on that? Does it happen a lot in younger people, or do you see it happen a lot in people who are of all age ranges?
I think that what you just said is exactly like the accurate picture, which is it happens across the board. It's not just young people. I think how it shows up in older people is typically a little bit different. It's usually not like these violent outbursts. It is poor decision making. It's things like impulse purchases and getting into arguments, saying things you don't mean. It tends to be a little bit less of the outward kind of physical or violent, which I see more in younger people. But older people, unfortunately, who haven't learned how to manage their responses are, struggling just as much with impulse control as a 20-something.
Yeah, the other day I was leaving here. As a matter of fact, it was on a Friday, and I remember, because I was driving down the street and I saw this guy, and he looked like he was in this like argument, and it's so weird because it almost never fails. You see a person walking down the street on the phone. 9 times out of 10, they're in an argument, and I mean, he looked like he was just in a just screaming match with somebody, and I wanted to pull over and say, "Young man, just calm down, like." Just calm down, because you are about to give yourself a heart attack. Like, you are that into whatever you're doing. Just calm down. Like, it can't be that serious. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like we could, and we could all use that. So that's not me saying that about any young person. And, I don't want anybody to think, oh, you're just being ageist or anything. No, not at all. We all could use that. Hey, just calm down, because there are some things that really make us fly off the handle. And if we would just learn just to calm down, we would probably be a lot better off. And I'm sure our health would thank us more than anything as well.
I'm sure it would. But you have to remember that lack of impulse control is not always just anger. It can be sadness. It can be disappointment. It could be feeling like you've gotten your feelings hurt. It could be feeling as if someone has offended you in some way. And so it doesn't have to always be anger. There are definitely been times in my own history that I can remember that I have been triggered emotionally and said some things that, in hindsight, if I had taken a second and processed through and dealt with my own emotion in that moment, I would have never said, because it was just my stuff showing up, and it doesn't necessarily come out for me as anger, but often as those kind of sadder kind of disappointment type of emotions. And so it can still be just as impactful.
Okay, that's interesting. That's a part that we didn't think about, but I would love to discuss it when we come back from our break. So let's take a break, and then we are going to come back and we are going to discuss that, because, again, that's something I didn't think about, but I want to. So let's do that right here on The Morning Rise with the Variable Y and Miss Janine on 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com. To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Don't it hurt so bad?
Irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, is so common that it's likely you know at least one person with this functional disorder. Some IBS facts are 13 to 20% of individuals, approximately 5 to 7.5 million individuals, are living with IBS. People of all ages have IBS, from young children to the elderly. The economic burden of IBS is $6.5 billion annually. Individuals with IBS miss on average 13 days of work per year, leading to a further $8 billion in lost productivity. The primary symptoms are what we call the ABCDs of IBS: abdominal pain, bloating, constipation, and diarrhea. Symptoms can come and go, so you might feel well for a while only to get symptoms again. For more information, please visit badgut.org.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Thinking of changing your marketing strategy? 106 Live Radio is the solution you need to promote your goods and services. For a limited time only, we are offering special advertising rates on our fast-growing radio network. We can also help you create an audio commercial or a website banner that fits your business needs. It is just that simple. Visit our website at 106liveradio.com for details.
Bringing you the best shows and music 24/7 on your favorite radio. It's 106liveradio.com.
See, I ain't got that much time left. 'Cause I give you my all and all you give me is your hands to kiss. What I'ma do with it? I think it's best if I move to the left. 'Cause I know that somebody waiting on all this love I gotta give. I'm wondering when you gon' love me. 'Cause I'm tired of waiting patiently, baby. When you gon' love me? And if you ain't gon' love me like I LOVE, you should tell me. You should tell me. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Girl, you been acting different lately. Ain't been calling me baby. So that nigga that you're sneaking with, let him know you ain't bitch before he get too deep in it. Baby, do me a favor. Either love me now, 'cause it ain't no later. Searching for your heart, but it's off the radar. Like who the hell is you, girl? You acting like this shit don't faze you, girl. Just don't forget that I made you, girl. Don't forget that I made you, girl. When you gon' love me? 'Cause I'm tired of waiting patiently, baby. When you gon' love me? If you ain't gon' love me like I LOVE, you should tell me that. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
1065liferadio.com.
And we are back right here on the Morning Rise with the Variable Y on 1065liferadio.com. We're accepting Music Diversity 24/7. And apparently I am an ageist because John called me an ageist. So that's cool. You can call me whatever you want. That is perfectly fine, I guess. So you know what? Before we even get back into our topic, Miss Janine, I didn't even ask you. I was, we were kind of rushing this morning and that was rude of me. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It was pretty uneventful. Kids are on spring break, so, still kind of adjusting at the start of this week. But weekend was good.
I think that is everybody's lot in life right now. I was hanging out with a buddy a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Yeah, man, the kids are about to be on spring break." And I said, "Oh man, my kids are going to be on spring break." So now your kids are on spring break. So I feel like this is everybody's lot in life that the kids are on spring break. If we would have had one very smart individual, we could have said, "You know what, man? Why don't y'all give me $100? I'll take both of you. I'll take your kids this weekend, and I'll take them off your hands for you this week. I'll take them off your hands for this whole week." Like any one of us would have said, "Okay, yeah, bet, let's do that. Cool. I'll give you $100." Somebody could have made a lot of money, and probably with the ages of the kids in our little friend group, probably had to do some work, but not a lot of work.
Yeah, once they get a little bit more independent, it's more just making sure they don't get into anything.
Exactly. Keeping them away from keeping them away from other horn dog teenagers, I guess you could say. So
So yeah.
Right.
So
But
yeah,
good.
The weekend was good.
Good.
It was relaxing. It
Good.
was nice.
Good to hear. Glad to hear. Okay, so now let's talk about something that you had mentioned that I never really excuse me thought about, is that when we are going through those emotions, when we're going through those times where we're feeling those type of emotions, that sometimes it can manifest itself in different ways. Sometimes it doesn't come across as just a violent outburst. It doesn't come across as a yell or as even a slap or anything like that. Sometimes it comes across in other ways. So let's get more into that so that we can kind of open people's eyes up in case they were thinking that, well, okay, I haven't done anything violent, so I'm not really having a moment right now.
Yeah, and that's often where we can miss the opportunity to take that break, is because what we're feeling isn't anger. We don't recognize that we can still say and do things that are very hurtful to the people around us because we're still operating in our emotion, not in our logic. Right? And so that can look like throwing out accusations. That can look like attacking a person's character because you feel that they've done something to hurt you, and saying things that you later feel like, I didn't really mean that. I was just in my feelings at the time. But unfortunately, you can't unsay things. And so, yeah, it can be just as damaging as emotions other than anger.
Yeah. And why? And it's hard. I know this is going to be a hard question to answer, but why do we, and I say we because, I'm sure I can do it too, but why do we feel like, well, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that, but we just say some really vile and vicious stuff. Why do we think that we can get by on that? Why do we think that that's okay? Like what about us makes us think it's okay for us to say something really say something really off to somebody, especially to people that we care about. And again, I am no exception on this because I've said some hurtful things to the people I care the most about, and I know like it's like, yeah, in that moment I really felt bad, but deep down it's like I didn't really feel that way. Like I really didn't feel the way that the way that I felt at that moment when I said it. I really didn't mean that. But what is it about us that makes us say things that we are not that we should that we really don't mean. You know, what is it? And again, what's that impulse like? What is that? What is that like mental thing? Whatever. What is that thing in us that causes that?
It is emotion running the show, you know, and unfortunately, the people that we care most about are the people who trigger the strongest emotional response, right? We care about them. That's why it matters to us. That's why they have access to be able to hurt us or do something that creates that really intense emotional response that then we react out of. I don't think any of us think it's okay. But in the moment, because we didn't take a second, because we're operating out of our feelings, because we are reacting instead of responding, we say and do things that are outside of our typical character that we otherwise wouldn't say or do because we don't have touch with our logic in that moment. Emotion is driving the bus.
Darn you, emotion, because yes, that is, man, that is, yeah, that is definitely on brand. Because again, there have been many times where I've said some things, and it's like I can't believe I would have said that. You know, and man, there's nothing, you know, I think I've told the story before, but I'll never forget like when and well, even more so than anything, I told the story just last week, and I was talking about how, you know, I had an outburst when I was at work, and I feel like I told the story. Anyway, if so, I'm gonna try and make this quick. My son was really sick at the time. He had pneumonia, and I was really, really scared because, you know, again, I had a family member or two who had passed from pneumonia. So, you know, and he was a kid. He was like 8 or 9, right? And so I was really nervous. I was really concerned about him. And the way it showed up was one day I was at work and this dude just was talking crazy to me. And, you know, I was, you know, we're on the phone. So it wasn't like I was going to go up to him and put hands on him, luckily for him. But yeah, I had an outburst on the phone that was so bad that somebody had to put me to the side, like, yo, just hang that phone call up, man. This ain't worth losing your job over, you know? So, and you know, I had to really think about it. And like I was saying on Friday, I believe is when I said this, you know, I really appreciated my manager at the time because we were in his office and I was like, look, I'm sorry, you know, I don't make excuses, but you know, my son has pneumonia. And at the time, you know, I was thinking about all of this and it was just starting to bubble up. And he was like, you know, there's a difference between an excuse and a reason. And that's a reason. You know, I got to discipline you, but this is not normally something that you do. So, hey, you promise me it won't happen again? I believe you, and we're all good. So, so yeah, man, I definitely understand that. I definitely get it. And which is why, you know, I'm not one of these people who is, you know, shocked and awed by this, but unfortunately, you know, yeah, whatever. Anyway, a couple of things going on in our chat today. Miss Fran, happy birthday, Miss Fran. Today is Miss Fran's birthday. April 4th is her birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Fran. And everybody in the chat is saying happy birthday. Miss Fran said, hello, Miss Janine. And everybody else is saying happy birthday to Miss Fran. And John is saying, this reminds me of the show Human Resources on Netflix. Never heard of it. So I definitely got to try to check that out because never ever heard of that show. But so I don't really know exactly what you mean, but I will check it out because of your recommendation. Yeah, and just some more birthday love from Miss Fran. So again, happy birthday, Miss Fran. Thank you so much for listening as always. So Miss Janine, now I know we don't have you the entire time. So do we have you for a little bit longer? Can we ask one more question or do we have to let you go?
Yeah, of course. We can ask. I can stay on to answer another question.
Okay, great. All right. So just going forward, you said, you know, we got to do the work. That's your thing. Do the work. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. What is the work that we have to do in this situation? What is the work that we have to do for these moments where, you know, and for all of us, not just for any, you know, younger person who is more prone to being a little more emotionally driven. For those of us who are a little more seasoned, who we think, yeah, we've got this stuff under control, and yet we still can have moments or still find ourselves in situations where our emotions are taking over. They are getting the best of us, and we are being put in a situation where we do something out of impulse that we shouldn't do, or we do something that we really regret doing, and we have to come back and apologize.
So I will say this is definitely not age specific, right? Again, how it shows up in young people just looks different, but this is a problem that's happening across the spectrum. And there are two different ways that I look at dealing with this or treating this. One is symptom reduction, and the other one is actually healing. And so for symptom reduction, often what I do when I talk to clients is implement that pause. Take a second, step away. When you step away, don't spin and just keep riling yourself up, right? Start to ask yourself questions. What is happening for me right now? What is it that I'm feeling? Is what I'm feeling based on something this person has actually done? Or is this my stuff? Do I need something from them to be okay? Or can I self-soothe? And so going through some of those processes to determine how to best respond to the person. And then on the other side of that, also doing the work to ask, what's happening that I'm being triggered in these ways? Is there something that is unhealed here? Is there a deeper root that I need to do more work in healing this so that it's not so sensitive? And I like to kind of help people get the tools to deal with the symptom, take the break while we deal with healing the stuff and digging it up from the root.
Okay. And just for the record, symptom reduction, what do you mean by that?
That means helping them stop popping off on their boss, or arguing with their partner, or, having uncontrollable crying spells at work. And so talking about symptom reduction is talking about how they're managing that emotional uptick in the moment. Got to give them tools for how to manage their actions and their behaviors while we talk about digging this thing up from the root and actually healing the issue.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Didn't know exactly what symptom reduction was. No worries. I mean, I was able to gather the information from some of the context clues, but just wanted to make sure that, we were making sure that we put that out there for everybody, just so they knew exactly what that meant. So, all right. So it looks like we've got, I think we got somebody trying to be funny in the chat. John's like, self-soothe, and he has a little weird face. I don't know what he means by that, so I'm not going to.
I just mean talk yourself through your emotion.
Yes. Nothing strange here, because I know some people, boy, I tell you, some people, I like them and everything, but man, they are interesting. They are interesting indeed. So yes. Okay. All right. So now let's do this. I know we gotta let you go. So let's go ahead and let you go. And then we will come back, and we will come back from the break. And then we're going to continue on without Miss Janine, and hope that you, Miss Janine, have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. If any questions come up in the chat and we need to circle back to this topic, just let me know. Sorry I have to cut out a little bit early today. This is a wonky week with spring break. But if someone has any follow-up questions or any topics you want to discuss, you can reach me on social media, Janine Malborn, JANEEN. MOLBORN at the different social media outlets, or on my website at aconduitofhealing.com.
All right, Miss Janine. Well, again, we thank you so much for taking the time out to be here with us, and we will talk to you again very, very soon.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a great rest of your day, okay?
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. All right, you guys, that was Miss Janine helping us out today, like she always does. Not always, like she does sometimes on Wednesdays. And we really appreciate her for doing just that. So let's go to music, then to break, and then we'll come back right here on the Morning Rise of Variable Y on 106liveradio.com.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Who you suckers think you're tripping with? Yes, I'm the boss. 745, white on white, that's Rick Ross. I keep them wide, I keep them long, I keep them fat, I keep them coming back. We keep them coming back. I'm in the distribution. I'm like Atlantic. I got them pretty things flying across the Atlantic. I know Pablo Noriega, the real Noriega. He owe me 100 favors. I ain't petty player. We buy the whole thing. See, most of my homies hustle. They still do their thing. My roof back, my money ride. I'm on the pedal, show you what I'm running like. When they snatch black, I cry for 100 nights. He got 100 bodies, serving 100 lives. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm. We never steal cars, but we hard. Whip it real hard, whip it real hard. I call the charge, whip it real hard, whip it real hard. Ain't about no funny stuff, still flipping them chickens. I'm on my money stuff, still whipping them Benzes. Major League, who catching because I'm pitching? Jose Canseco just snitching because he finished. I feed them steroids to strengthen up all my chickens. They flying over Pacifics to be specific. Triple C's, you know it's fact. We hold it set. So they can go on rap. Run and tell them that. More cars, more O's, more clothes, more. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm. It's time to spin my thrills, custom spinning wheels. I ain't drove in a week, them shit is spinning steel. Talk about me, cause these suckers scared to talk about me. Killers talking about me, it ain't no talk about me. It ain't no walking around me. See all these killers around me, around me going down in Dade County. Don't tote no 22s, cost me 22. Started on a 22. Your mama super thin, she say she 22. She seen them 22. We in room 222. I touch work like I'm convertible Burt. I got distribution, so I'm converting the work. In the MIA, yo, switch off, yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. My shit banging it, yo. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm. Mo TV.
Hey everybody, welcome to SmokingOrJoking.com and MoTV1.com, your free online entertainment.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Hey friends, it's your young auntie, Miss Lovely T with 106liveradio.com. And this is what's happening in Atlanta. I'm looking for some excitement. I got you. Hey, I'm looking for something kid-friendly. Hey, I got you. I'm looking for some me time. I got you. I'm just looking for some good food. Don't worry, I got you. I'm looking for something healthy. I got you, girl. Don't worry. Go on and stay tuned, friends, to hear all about it. This is not a show you want to miss.
It's What's Happening in Atlanta with Miss Lovely T. Tune in every Saturday from 3 to 4 p.m. on 106liveradio.com.
You went car shopping? You meant business. You ace vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesman the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It takes more than one day to educate the American youth about the risks of getting drunk. It is your role as a responsible adult to initiate the conversation that nobody is willing to talk about. Speak with your friends and family who you've noticed are reliant on heavy drinking. As a parent, teach your children about alcohol misuse and help them build coping skills. Tell them that stress, anger, loneliness, and peer pressure are a part of life and should not cause them to give into liquor for relaxation. Please visit nationaltoday.com for more details.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Gabby. I have such a huge desire for the Word of God and accurate interpretation of the Word. Couple that with a desire for people from all walks of life to hear and understand the heart behind God's Word. Join me, Gabby, and Serena as we have simple conversations about the Word of God every first and third Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m.
Are you thinking of changing your marketing strategy? 106 Live Radio is the solution you need to promote your goods and services. For a limited time only, we are offering special advertising rates on our fast-growing radio network. We can also help you create an audio commercial or a website banner that fits your business needs. It is just that simple. Visit our website at 106liveradio.com for details.
Bringing you the best shows in music 24/7 on your favorite radio. It's 106liveradio.com.
Look, once upon a time, and I heard that I was ugly. Came from a chick who wanna touch. I said my face bomb, abs tight, rack stuck up, shack height, jury on me, flashlight. I've been listening last night. Hit 'em with that good, make you wanna act right. Broke boys don't deserve no kitty. I know that's right. Big bag, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, Balenciaga brought it back. No how I give it up. It's big bags, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, working back, party back. No how I give it up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. Up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. I can make the party hot. I can make your body rock. Haters can do nothing with me. Chances are they probably not. If I had a stick, you probably lick it like a lollipop. Shorty speaking Japanese, hit 'em with karate chops. I'm forever popping it, pulling up and dropping it. Gotta argue with him, cause you know he love a toxic chick. Out here playing, gotta make him understand. Ain't no ring on my finger, you ain't going on my gram. Set my face bomb, abs tight, rack stack up, shack height, jury on me, flashlight. I've been listening last night. Hit 'em with that good, make you wanna act right. Broke boys don't deserve no kitty. I know that's right. Big bag, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, Balenciaga brought it back. No how I give it up. It's big bags, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, working back, party back. No how I give it up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. Up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. They ain't messing with me now, and I can see why. Dirty, dusty, girl, you got pink eye. Say they want smoke until I bring it to their doorstep. Please tell her back breath, smell like horse. Put it on him now. let him run it. Big bag, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, Balenciaga brought it back. No how I give it up. It's big bags, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, Birkin bag, body back. No how I give it up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. Up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. Look, gotta play it safe. No face, no case.
Welcome back to the Morning Rise with Variable Y on 106liveradio.com. So, like I was saying, you guys, we have got to shut it down because we got some things we got to do. We got to shut down the video portion of the show because we got some things we got to do. Of course, keep us locked. We will still be on the radio on the app. So keep us locked in on the app, but we are shutting down the video portion of the show. So I appreciate you guys on video. And then I'm going to play a song and then come right back. And we'll be on the audio right here on the Morning Rise with the Variable Y on 106liveradio.com.